weight's not dropping.
I believe that the fires we're cast upon are the flames we shall become. I believe in a common calling where our temples pray as one. I believe in the word of wonder and a kingdom for the saints.
Nice. Larry Pollock, Luke Carroll, Austin Karr, and Leo Mayrhofer here. We've got a pretty packed agenda today. We're going to start off with some discussion on SEO, site enhancement, specifically Synthol and the new product. Well, it's not new, but newer product. What's it called? Medaform. And then after that, we're going to go over Luke's hair transplant surgery that he just had in Turkey. And he's going to tell you about that and how it all went. We're going to cover the Poland Pro coming up this weekend. We just did the, the Prague Pro last weekend, which was pretty exciting. And we can talk a little bit about that. And then we'll do a live Q&A. So let's jump right into it with the SEO discussion. I was first introduced to site enhancement, I guess, back in the 80s. And at that time we had, what was that stuff called? Cycling. That was the first stuff. And it was just basically, I don't know, it just inflamed the muscles. It was a steroid actually, but it didn't have much anabolic effect, but somehow you injected it into the muscle and it inflamed it for like 24 hours. And it did work. But like I said, the effect only lasted like 24 hours. I think Rich Gasperi was the first one that told me about it. And he did it just in his arms. And so you could add like a ½ inch to your bicep and maybe a ½ inch to your tricep. I think that was about it. Maybe if you had bigger arms, you could add a little bit more, but not a whole lot. And I remember I talked to Mike Menser at the time and told him about it. And he told me that it's impossible. It doesn't work because the body is an open system and it wouldn't work. And I said, well, it does work. And he didn't believe me. But anyways, later they got into the Synthol, which is basically just some type of oil. I think of like SEO. And that was, I don't think that really became a thing much until the 90s. And I think I did mess with it a little bit back then. I think I did it. I tried it a couple times back then, not for competition, but just to do it. Or maybe it was just site injections. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I just remember my shoulders. I was in the gym one day and an Australian bodybuilder was in there, Phil Walsh, and he said, your shoulders are awfully big. Like all of a sudden they grew. And I just was like, well, yeah, whatever. But I know I injected something in there. I don't remember if it was steroids or it was site enhancement oil back then. But in the 90s, Boston Lloyd was all about it. And I didn't really try it much till I worked with Nasser. And he's the one that like really taught me how to use the Synthol. And for me, it was a painful, very unproductive process where I did a whole lot of shots and I didn't get a whole lot out of it because I was over dieting for show. So I think I burned through the shit faster than I used it. But after the show, I continued to use it and it did work to a point. I got my arms from like 19 inches to like 21 inches.
That's quite a bit.
Damn.
But then I found out that, well, you can't lift heavy with this stuff in you because if you train heavy, the stuff leaks out. So after it looked really cool for about a month, and then it started leaking out under my skin. So I had this like layer of oil like between the muscle and my skin, and I could see like the veins and everything was underneath the oil. So at that point I decided I didn't like it. Plus I'd seen other people doing it, and it just looked really weird on some people that overdid it. So I after that, the only time I used it is like maybe before a show, I'd put a peak on my bicep, which works. I put like a couple cc's, like 3 cc's in the outer head of my bicep, and right away, like overnight, you had a peak on your bicep a little bit more. But I never like used it to the extent of trying to make my arms like so much bigger.
Now, would it, from doing that with just SEO, would it be inflammation or would it be actually just the oil pushing it up?
Pushing the oil out?
No, pushing up the muscle. Would it be?
No, so the oil does. You have to put it deep, like 3 inches under the muscle, so it does push the muscle up.
Because I couldn't imagine that 3 cc's would really make the muscle push up that much. I mean, like 3 cc's is like that much. You know, I can't imagine that would make my like arm look very much bigger. You know, I have to imagine
if you put it right in the outer head of your bicep peak, it will just push it up like a half an inch.
Interesting.
And which will put a little bit of a peak on your bicep.
Austin's got quite a bit of experience with the Medaform. I want to hear.
Before we get into that, I'm just real quickly, I'll say I did try Medaform one time, and I decided it was worthless because apparently I wasn't doing enough of it. I got like 2 bottles of it, and I think I used the whole 2 bottles in a contest prep, and it did nothing for me. I like saw nothing out of it. But I guess I didn't do enough.
Maybe it was your protocol, because I know, like, I don't know. I mean, Austin can elucidate the method to like how quickly it happens that you put it in. Do you put it in? Because I think what Larry's saying is he would do Synthol over like a prep, and it would kind of build up over time to kind of make his arms bigger. But I think Medaform is more like, is it more instant? Is that right?
Can you turn down your volume on the computer, because it's like you get an echo?
It's not me. I think it might. I don't know who it is.
Is it me?
I think it might be you. You need headphones.
Oh shit! Is that loud?
Not.
How about that?
Say something.
It might be Larry's.
I think it might be Larry's.
Yeah,
But it's weird. It was just when you talked.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was me bouncing off of like someone else's computer onto their speakers.
Then it might be Larry.
I
because
can lower my
Larry
audio a little bit. I just lowered my audio a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Like,
I would say
one question in between.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? How prevalent it is? How many people are using it? And also, I wonder, do you also think in Classic a lot of people are using it? Because I want Austin to tell the judges to judge that down real bad.
it's hard to like judges, unless you're a competitor and you really know what the muscle bellies and the insertions and tie-ins are looking like. I don't think a lot of judges really know what Synthol looks like, unless it's a girl with like glutes that are going like 3D, and if the shoulders are so round at the like a diamond at the point, then yeah, obviously it's Synthol. But like, I guarantee you, bro, like at least 6 to 7 guys at the Olympia this year were on Synthol, 100%.
Synthol or Medaform? Do you think
Medaform? Okay, so Medaform is it's not Synthol, it's hydrolonic acid, which is a natural. The body has hydrolonic acid naturally. You're just pumping it up with more of it, and what that does is it creates more of a water-based look, like a inflammation type effect. So yes, you would want to use Medaform pre-show. I would load it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the peak week. Thursday, I would, and I'm only doing a cc, 1 cc. That's it. And I'm doing what's that?
Per muscle? Like, say you're doing biceps and triceps, you're doing like 1 cc in each.
I was nuts, bro. I did triceps, biceps, lats to make my lats like when I front double.
Also, would you be doing each head? So you do like the outer head, the long head, the short head. Would you do each head? I was pretty bored like when I was in peak week, so I would experiment. I would take an insulin needle. I would do 0.25 of a cc, and I would go all down my bicep Okay.
So it was spread out. So I wasn't just putting it in one localized like bicep peak. And then even in the tricep, I would hit, what's the side, the horseshoe part of this, the bigger side on the tricep?
The
side
this
lateral.
is the long head, and then that's the short head, and I think that's the medial head.
I would hit the short head because the short head, you see a lot of it on a front lat spread. You're seeing it on a side tricep. I'm sorry, a side chest. When you come up on your side chest and you arc that chest up, this other arm, that side, that tricep's gonna pop, and it's gonna give you that 3D look across that whole chest frame. So I would do the side like you said, but I would do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday 1 cc. Thursday I would do half a cc, because you got to remember this stuff, it compounds like over days, and then once it's in your system, you just need a little bit, and you need to be drinking. The problem is you have to drink 2 gallons of water a day for it to get through your system. So you can't drink 2 gallons on Thursday, Friday before your show because you're trying to make weight. So I would only do a half a cc or even 0.25 because I'm only drinking.
I didn't know that about the water. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's really good in the off season because you're drinking 3 gallons of water or whatever you're drinking.
That's probably where I blew it. I did it like the day before a show.
No. Because you need water to push it to the muscle, kind of like a pre.
To hydrate the muscle, you need the water to kind of like the hyaluronic acid actually like pulls the water into the muscle.
I'm gonna let me get this picture. I did this. This is Texas Pro, and I loaded that a shit ton there, here a little bit in the delts, and I think I did it in the lats.
A lot of people say what I'm going to say about this.
Can't even tell.
A lot of people say that basically, if you're doing it right, it's almost like art. Like you're almost just kind of like accentuating a little bit. If you're doing it wrong, it's going to look bad. You're doing too much, maybe too fast. It's going to look bad. But yeah, you just look like your muscles look tight. Like you just look separated. You look tight.
Yeah. And I'm like you. I have really good round muscle bellies in my all throughout. I think just kind of everywhere.
Yeah, you have really bubbly muscle.
Same with you. So if you're hitting it, see, like Leo, he might not have that round arm, but he's got good arms. They're just not as bubbly. Yeah. If he was to load just the bicep and the tricep, it might look a little bit suspicious. But because we have that round natural look already, adding it is just like giving a guy steroids that's already genetically freak. It's just going to make it look even more rounder. Yeah, because it kind of forms to the muscle belly, to be honest.
Some guys have more like grainy muscle, and other guys have more bubbly muscle. Like Phil Heath was a real bubbly muscle kind of guy, and then like Dorian was a real grainy muscle kind of guy. So maybe it wouldn't work so much for somebody that didn't have that kind of like hydrated bubble look on their muscles.
Guys like me and you, if we use it, we look amazing. Like we look like a Derek, not like a Derek, but like a who's really round in the open. Andrew Jacked in some areas. Like it gives us that round look. That pop. But I was so dry though, I still was able to bring graininess with the brownness. So you're right. It kind of depends on how good your conditioning is too.
Mm-hmm. You take it and you drink all this water, and then it fills the muscle up, and then you dehydrate like the day before.
Yeah, so what happens is that hydrolonic acid sits in the muscle for 3 days. So it's there. You want to preload it. So once you get to your show like Thursday, I would even cut the shots off Thursday night. So now you're going to registration and you got Saturday the show, but it's already in the arm, and now when you start pumping up in the gym, it's going to activate that. It's going to get inflammation through that through the muscle already, through the muscle head. So once you go on stage and you're doing your pump up backstage, you should be exploding full, like fucking, because I would do a little bit of insulin and I would do a little bit of sugar. It would like kind of like how Phil does shit. I would do an insulin spike, and once the insulin spike hit, dude, my muscles were so I couldn't even pose. I was pumped so bad from this shit. It was amazing.
What were you saying, Leo?
I heard that, and it makes sense when you compare to the 90s where the, separations were greater. People just looked more, not that blurry. And I was told that in the 90s there was like only Synthol. And now the Medaform would make it look more blurry. And when you look at the guys, you'd be like, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, Derek, you're my friend, but we all know your arms look blurry, and they did not always look that blurry. Because I was looking back, and I'm like, they didn't look that blurry, some years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel, and I heard that in the Middle East they still use a lot of Synthol. So, and Andrew Jack looks like a Flex Wheeler, full of Synthol. I don't know if Andrew Jack is full of Synthol. I have no idea, but that would make sense. Like that, back like with a Synthol, you still keep the detail, but when you do it bad, it looks really bad. And and with the Medaform, I think it's safer because it spreads more, right? But it will look more blurry. I told speculation here.
Back in the 90s, they were using what Larry was talking about was the eucycline. And the eucycline is, what I've heard about it is it was kind of invented for doing microsurgery on like the heart of an infant or something like that, where it's so tiny that the surgeon can't really work on it, but you can inject this stuff into it and it'll really like inflate it for several hours. So I think a lot of the guys were using that eucycline. We've all heard stories about Kevin Levrone buying like every box of it on the West Coast or something like that and stuff like that. So I think maybe the eucycline was kind of the thing that the guys were using at the stage. I know that also.
But look at Kevin. He was one of the few that did not have good separated biceps.
But I think also guys were using Synthol, which basically is just putting in enough oil in an area. Because Flex did have like a interesting looking bicep. It looked a little bit too big for the size, his biceps and triceps for the size that they should have been. So I think the guys were using both. I think when they were like real dry, I mean, Flex Wheeler, he had the most crazy genetics. So, I mean, he's a hard one to kind of say, like, pick apart in this aspect. So, but there's been rumors, kind of going back and forth, and he's denied it of ever even touching this stuff. But
yeah, I heard a bunch of times that Charles Glass injected them all.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that too, actually. I've heard that as well.
I've heard that.
Up in the posing room of
but maybe all of these rumors come from the same person that came up with it. Who knows?
Well, I know for a fact that Nasser had it all through everywhere because he showed me where he did it and stuff.
Do you know if he was using the exact
protocol
Synthol or was he using the SC?
No, just Synthol.
Okay. Yeah, so I think
Synthol.
So Synthol, the history on it kind of I know there's like the painless pumps and stuff like that. And basically what I know about the Synthol is it's like oil, but it also has electrolytes in it. And so you're basically just creating like a pocket deep down in the muscle, and you use that to like build up the size. And they call it Synthol because it's like an oil that doesn't really break down as easily as like, say, when we inject testosterone or something like that. So it would build up over time, but then also over more time, your body would just start to digest it and it would go back down. So it was just temporary. But that was kind of what I knew about like the painless pumps. I think painless pumps had its name because it had
painless pumps in it.
That's Medaform. I heard.
No, painless pumps was what's that oil called?
Capric.
Yeah, Capric oil with lidocaine in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And,
have you ever?
It had a little bit of lidocaine, but it did not have electrolytes in it. That some other people started doing that.
I know Boston Lloyd did one with like.
Yeah,
3cc, stuff like
Team
that.
3cc.
Yeah.
Dude, so, I work with Matt Porter for my first coach in 16, and I asked him because if you ever looked at Matt Porter's biceps, they were this big all day long, and I just told him there's no way that's real. So he sent me his protocol, and it was fucking insane. It was and it was the painless pumps because I went to one of his shows and the night before. He was in the bathroom for like 3 hours, and I was like, "What are you doing in there, bro? Are you all right?" He was in there fucking pumping that shit all over his body, dude. But the painless pumps, he would have me do so your bicep head, you have 3. He'd go down the bicep. He'd do 1 cc on one side and then 1 cc on the inner, and you do it in 3 spots. Okay. You start with 1 cc. and then you go do that for 7 days. Then you go to 2 cc's, then 3 cc's on each side.
Oh, geez.
Dude, it was fucking insane. I went through like 40 of those bottles in a year. And I don't think those bottles are healthy because your body can't break down a lot of those fluids or a lot of those oils. And I think, honestly, I truly think, like, to this day that he had problems from those bottles because he had a pulmonary embolism. And I think all that oil was still stuck in his fucking system and it couldn't break it down and it went to his lungs.
Yeah, it could be like a foreign body. Your body could create what's called a sterile abscess around some of those pockets. And then, that could just cause a whole host of problems. You could have inflammatory diseases. You could have maybe an embolism. Like you said, if it gets into your blood, it goes around your system and plugs up your lungs to your heart and stuff like that.
Well, you remember Milo said he got an embolism when he injected the Synthol and it hit a vein.
Yeah, I heard that. He was pretty bad. And then also that thing happened to Boston Lloyd where he shot his tricep and he somehow got it up next to a nerve and the nerve just like exploded his arm.
Ulna. Was it the ulna?
His ulnar nerve? Yeah.
I think that's just from sticking the needle into the nerve.
But you got to remember, Boston Lloyd was a fucking nut. You know why? He used to use his needles. He never bought new needles. He was so fucking cheap with his money. He would reuse an insulin needle every fucking day. Remember that, Larry?
Yeah,
I remember hearing about that.
He would just reuse them all the time.
That is the most unsterile shit I've ever fucking heard of in my life.
Yeah. So now the new thing, it's not really new, but it's like they quit making eucycline and then they started making nolotol. So nolotol is the replacement. And I did use nolotol once. It was interesting. I did it in my biceps. My biceps felt like instantly full. And I actually made me extremely tired. I literally fell asleep like right away. And then I woke up and I went to the gym and I just had these like awesome swollen arms. And I was trying to train on them, but I could only curl like 25 pounds because my arm was so tight. It just felt like the most extreme pump I'd ever had. And then so nolotol was kind of a fun one. But
you think
I never really used it again after that. I mean, I shoot my testosterone, like if I'm running test and primo, I'll shoot that in my arms, but I try to keep it below like 1 cc. And I'm not like sighting it. I'm literally just like using it as like a different location because I use like biceps, triceps, inner head, rear delts, glutes.
I would do the best protocol would do if you're going to train biceps, triceps, then shoot it an hour before training. Okay. Then as you're training, you're going to get that inflammation feeling. And then you're going to definitely get a little bit more of a, I don't say growth from it, but you'll get definitely a pump, which might cause growth in return.
Well, Larry was saying that he used the oil and it like pushed out of his muscle between his skin. So that's kind of a interesting side effect.
Yeah. So no, what happens is your muscle can only hold. Leo, wake up. Your muscle can only hold.
He's on prep. Give him a break.
Your muscle can only hold a certain amount of oil, and then like once it's like full, if you keep putting more in it and then you train heavy, it'll literally leak out between the fibers from underneath under your skin. That's why you see these guys like, I mean, I don't know if you ever saw like Jay Cutler train his arms, and I'm not accusing Jay Cutler of anything, but we all know he did it.
I think a lot of
he would do those like rope things, cable ropes, like for 1,000 reps with fucking 20 pounds or some shit. Because you can't train heavy on it because you'll literally push the shit out.
Interesting. So, Austin, now that you have the most experience with it out of anyone on this panel, can you see it when people are doing it on the stage? Are you like, okay, that guy's definitely a little suspect, or like that guy's for sure using it?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys that it's pretty prevalent. But, a lot of the shoulders that you see now are not going to be striated. You see rounder delts that obviously could be from just taking your test, EQ or DECA.
Yeah.
Now,
holy shoulder, shit, look at all those veins, the striate.
If the shoulder is like that, it's striated. He's probably not hitting his delts. But
got it.
Honestly, you see it a lot in guys' quads, a lot of quads.
Okay.
Because the quad just doesn't look. It looks a little bit fuller, and then
trying to help their sweep, trying to get some more sweep.
Sweep.
Yeah. So,
and here's the thing. We try to get that during the pre-judge so the judges are aware, and then we try to I always score them down for that.
Okay.
Because it's just, I know people are like, well, you're fucking blasting steroids in your arms. It's always been a rule that you can't use Synthol.
It's got to be the look. Like if you're going for a better look, then you're not going to have like a blurry arm or a blurry shoulder, or a triangular shoulder or something like that. So like it really should just go for the look. And if someone is like shooting it well enough that you can't tell, then I think that's like the key. If they're trying to use site enhancement, it's supposed to not be able to be like evident.
Obvious. Do you guys think that Natalia shot her thigh with her left leg?
I don't know. Her legs looked shredded. Her whole body looked shredded to me. The girl
claimed that she was cheating and she won it because of her legs or something, right?
But her legs have always been like that. So why all of a sudden?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just asking because
I don't think so, because she's always had that.
That's kind of what I was
like. It's not like all of a sudden she has something that she didn't have before.
No,
she's had that for as long as I've known her.
Sarah probably just complained now because now she lost.
Yeah. I mean,
and I can imagine that. Sure, she could very well be, because she's not. I know I don't use shit, and I know how my leg looks and other people's legs look when they're peeled, and there's some separation, something a little missing sometimes in some athletes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, they either can't flex, which I don't think, or there's something in it. And there's probably something in it. But it looks so good that I couldn't tell 100%. So I don't know if you can judge it down if you don't really know. If you really know, sure. If it looks weird, sure. If you can't tell, well, cheated. Because I would honestly say that's kind of cheating, because this doesn't even require actual work. It's like,
look, let me tell you something. When I did the Nasser protocol with the Synthol, I had to take, it was just shoulders and arms, and it was 3 cc's in my rear delt, 3 cc's in my side delt, 3 cc's in my front delt, 3 cc's in the long head of my tricep, 3 cc's in the outer head of my tricep, 3 cc's in the bottom of my tricep, 2 cc's in the outer head of the, 3 cc's in the outer head of the bicep, and 3 cc's on the inner head of the bicep. And he had me doing that 3 days a week. So I would lay out 18 3 cc needles, sit in a chair, and have my ex-wife inject me. And it took over an hour, and just sit there and have her injecting me. And it was very painful.
For me, bodybuilding is a muscle show. If you don't have the muscle, you're bad. And I'm saying that as probably the least gifted IFBB pro on earth. So, if I'm not using it, then you suckers should also not. Everyone out there, don't use it.
I'm just saying it's not an easy thing to do. Yeah. It's not just oh, boom, a shot. It's you have to put a lot of that shit in.
Yeah.
And And honestly, it didn't work for me during a prep, because I don't know, maybe because I was so low calories and everything. I was burning the shit up.
There was some claims I heard too. I think I know what you're talking about, Luke, about Urs using massive amounts of Synthol before the Italy show this year, because he just got, I understand food and everything, and he was able to grow into the open, but his arms grew significantly. Mm-hmm. And if you look at look at his arms and you look at the separation and the detail, it looks a lot blurry. And even the quads.
The thing is, though, with Urs, he also was way drier when he was in Classic.
Yeah.
So you're comparing a drier Urs to a not so dry Urs, so that could also just be the case. I don't know any claims, because he always had to lose so much weight, where then it became muscle, that he always lost what he just gained, which was arms. It could be that he's using it. That's just me defending him because he's my friend, and I don't know. But,
personally, I don't really care if someone uses Synthol as long as it doesn't look bad, because I think with my view on it, if it looks bad, it looks bad on the sport. Like it's like it kind of casts a shadow on the whole sport. But like what Austin did on his arms looked great. He didn't have like 24-inch arms that looked silly. He just kind of like emphasized a little bit more roundness, and it kept the tightness. So I think if somebody does it with class or with, you know, careful eye, then I don't really care. But I think they're definitely, if somebody's like those guys that are in like India that have like 4 gallons, or Brazil that have 4 gallons in their biceps, or like Greg Valentino that's put in his arms, I think that just looks kind of like casts a negative light on the sport. So I don't necessarily care as long as you're keeping it like making you're just enhancing. Once you start to go too far and you start to get like a little obsessed with it, then I think that, yeah, you definitely need to get marked down. But if you can't tell, if you're like unsure, then I'm like, okay, that's not a problem then.
So like with the Synthol, like if you put a certain amount, it won't blur the definition and you won't be able to tell. But if you go too much,
yeah,
like I said, then it comes to like where it's leaking out of the skin. Even on Flex Wheeler, I mean, people are like saying like, remember at a point his shoulders look bigger than his head?
Yeah.
And then he didn't have a single striation in them because they were just like so blown up.
So we can talk about one step further, and that's what that Golem monster did, and then also Rich Piana, and they did what's called PPMA. Mm-hmm. And that is like a permanent filler. And I think a lot of these wellness girls are actually using it as well. And it's like a permanent filler they put deep down, kind of like near the muscle, and they just build it up. And it's almost like an implant that stays and it never goes away. Like if you saw Rich Piana's arms, they always had like the same shape. He's like riding a motorcycle and they just look like that. He's standing there, they look like that. Flexes, they look the same. They don't grow, they didn't get bigger, they didn't change.
Well, actually, what it is it's plastic.
Yeah.
It's so little plastic beads, and they put it into the muscle and it permanently bonds to the muscle. Mm-hmm. So once it adheres to the muscle, it can't come out.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's like an implant. And
that's like I think a plastic surgeon does that. I don't think that's like anyone.
They do it in Mexico. Like Piana went and got it done in Tijuana.
Yeah.
At some place. The doctor just injected him with a PMMA.
Yeah.
But this Brazilian talk show host, she had it done in her glutes, and her body rejected the stuff. And they had to surgically remove half of her ass on one side and almost half of her hamstring. And she was in the hospital for almost a year. And she almost died. Yeah. Because like you can't take it out. You can't take it out without taking the muscle out.
Yeah.
So I heard, now I don't know about this because Austin's telling us it's a little different with the other stuff. What is it? The hyaluronic acid. Medaform. That you have to, I don't know if this is true, but I think Luke was saying like somebody pro bodybuilder was getting like 1,000 bottles of this stuff.
Yeah, I saw
a whole lot of it.
Somebody I know saw the order from Kuwait or from Oxygen Gym, and it was 1,000 bottles of Medaform.
Was this a recent bodybuilder?
No, this is 5-7 years ago. I mean, probably Brandon Curry was definitely pumping it up. Maybe that's why he can't get any separation in his legs at the Olympias. Because
Ashkenani's legs.
Ashkenani, yeah, that's another one.
I was friends with Nick Trigilli for a long time, and he said that, remember he was making, what was that shit called he made? Hyaluronic
acid. I think it was that, yeah.
Yeah, I was taking it because he sponsored me, but he said he got an order from Sean Roden, and he used it for the 18 Olympia when he won it, and he said he blasted his arms, because if you look at Sean's triceps, go to that Olympia, he has no triceps. They're like his shoulders and biceps look massive, but look at his triceps, there's no separation.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I truly think I was going to ask you, Leo, do you think a lot of classic guys are using it, or is this more of an open and 212 drug? Or
now that I think about it, my weight cap is 219, and I'm pretty dry. Like first I thought like shit, I'm getting too skinny, but now like my weight's still like
Heavy?
staying there. And I'm like, some of these guys look so huge. Like, how do they look that huge?
I mean, I think that it's just genetics, but it is crazy
course,
how,
like
how some of these guys look so big.
Heavier. They look like 30 pounds heavier. And I'm like, maybe there's something. I don't know. But like, I'm not sure. I think in the open, definitely. In classic, I hope, and I kind of felt that in Prague, they also judged the muscle quality more. This German guy who's like really, really shredded got 4th. And the other German guy who I like, but he was not as shredded, but he was more full and big, got only 7th. And at the Olympia, it was the other way around. So I hope they just reward the right looks, and then it'll, dissolve by itself. But in the past, I felt they judged a lot on silhouette only. When there was people with crazy muscle quality, but someone else had a little nicer silhouette and they would win. And that was the case the other way around too at the Olympia, where Ramon had the worst silhouette of all of the 3, but probably the best muscle quality. I can't really tell because I watched it on screen, like with you, Luke, you know it. And you know how dark it is and how Terrence Ruffin's muscle quality could be great, but we can't tell.
Yeah.
Now, one question I have. So with the Synthol, like if you use too much of it, like I said, it'll leak out and you can't train heavy with the stuff. But with the hyaluronic acid, it sounds like it's different. Like you could use more of it and still train with it. But then if you do that, do you think it's going to again, blur the muscle definition? Because it's just full of pump.
Austin would know the best.
What you can't do is you can't grow muscle with that product. So you can't expect to grow your arms 2 inches like you did, but you can give it a nice icing on the cake if you already have the muscle. You have to have muscle to have this work. But if you're gonna if you load it 2 weeks out and you're just blasting your arm day in and day out, it's not gonna. When it goes time to do a pose down or your comparisons or your mandatories, you're gonna see it's gonna have a water film over that muscle, and you're not gonna see the definition. You're not gonna see striations. It's just gonna look off.
Derek had for sure this year.
I didn't. I gotta look at it, bro. I didn't see his. I saw those pictures from Muscle Discord guy, and the bicep looked a lot. It didn't have a peak at the top, right?
It just looked like it didn't have this kind of lines and separation all through here. It just didn't quite. It just kind of had this blurry look to it. But I'm gonna be honest. All of those people are taking screenshots from videos, and I've seen some of them where actually they were edited. People were putting a picture of Hottie next to an edited picture of Derek, and I'm like, all right,
that's ridiculous.
People are judging on stuff that people are just manufacturing a fucking story behind. So
Larry was at the show. I mean, Derek, I talked to him at the show, or I was texting him. He was there. He said Derek won that 100%.
When he walked out on stage, to me, he looked the best right away. He looked bigger than Hottie, especially his legs were dramatically bigger.
Right.
And he looked hard. I mean, he didn't have striations in the front like Hottie because he just doesn't have those.
I think with the Olympia that a lot of people are just judging on one photo or one pose. And with the Olympia, with every bodybuilding show, you judge every pose and you say, okay, this guy is first, this guy's second, that guy's third. Okay, front double, that guy, front lat spread, this guy. And the same way that Dorian Yates won all his Olympias is he beat more people on more poses, So that's how Derek won. He won more poses. Whether he looked better in his front double, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what one single pose looks. It's what the whole combination of all the poses together. They don't judge on when he's it can kind of sway a judge, the transitions, but it doesn't matter. It's just when they're in the pose. Okay, that's the first, that's second, that's third, that's fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at the direct comparison, like Hottie wins the most muscular over Derek, and Hottie probably wins the ab and thigh.
Mm-hmm. But Derek won definitely the side poses. Derek
won the side poses and the back poses.
Yeah.
And so what do you have? Maybe Hottie wins the front double, but I mean it's pretty close.
And they did it over and over again. I mean, like, you know, it kind of can change from pose to pose. So I think they got it right. They're in the business of judging it correctly.
One thing I want to say, you know, somebody, Paul Barnett just put out a thing. He did a little science experiment. He put out a very negative post and a positive post just to see what people would do. Yeah. And the negative post got twice as many views and twice as many comments because people like to argue. Mm. And the positive post got like half as many views and half as many comments. And neither one of them was like earth-shattering anything.
Yeah.
And it just shows like people like to be controversial. And somebody asked me, some kid messaged me and said, you know, do you think the judging is more corrupt now than before? And I'm like, there's no way. Like before, you know, you have the same person winning every year over and over again, almost no matter what they look like.
How many?
And now you have different winners and people being placed all over the place.
How many judges are there? There's like 12 or something like that, or 7. Does Austin know? Do you know how many Olympia judges?
A regional pro show is 5. So
Olympia has 11 judges, right?
But on top of that, they throw out the top judge. So if one judge was like, "Oh, I definitely want Hottie to win," and it gave him like first on every single thing, they throw that judge out, and they throw the bottom judge out.
So that's 2.
What?
That's 2 scores that they don't even count, right?
Yeah, and it's like the best and worst score. So it would be hard for somebody to like sway like an opinion or them to be corrupt, because like if that one judge was, or like it would have to be a unanimous, like they'd have to tell them like, yeah, Derek's gonna win like beforehand, or like they're gonna place all these guys beforehand. But it just I don't think that it's, I think it's like,
okay, I'm gonna say something that I know for a fact. Okay, on the local level shows, the head judge can make the decision. And I'm going to tell you why. I know this because my training client, who was an IFBB judge, told me about a show that I competed in, and she was trying to get what is his name, Tarek, to fucking make me win, and he wouldn't, and she couldn't do anything about it because he's basically, if the way it worked in muscle contests is if you voted against the head judge, they would just fire your ass if you did it too much. So I mean, they can do that, but on the,
well, if you aren't following the IFBB's guidelines, then you're not a judge. That's like they want,
right? But like he basically she told me he said no. He said no.
There's definitely some politics, but I just don't think that it's like as rampant as people.
But on the pro level, I don't see it, because you see like Samson won one year and then he's 4th the next year, and you know, Derek wins one year and he's 3rd the next year. So like, where's the politics? Martin just won, and people are and these guys are saying that there's a big conspiracy that, you know, what's his name was on his phone. Okay. Like Martin fair and square won. I don't think anybody argued that point. So he's on his phone to do what? What was the thing that
he claimed he got a call, that a private call that he couldn't, that he had to take.
No, but I'm saying I don't see where there was no point. No, like who's he gonna ask permission for?
Let's say they're done judging, and they're done judging. Steve just brings the letter to the friend. Why wouldn't you take a call then when it's important, even when everything's done? Like all you have to do is carry that thing forward. Like you're not even, you know. So I just
don't see. I think that guy just likes to make. I don't think that guy likes Steve, that muscle discord guy.
Well, we know that's obvious, but I think
the guy wants controversy. He wants to create controversy to get views, and the people are stupid enough to watch him all the time. I pointed it out, dude. The guy's probably like overtaking me in subscriptions, and everyone's saying your podcast should have 200,000 subscriptions. And what do you guys do? All you share is the people that talk shit.
Yeah.
I was telling Luke this after the Prague Pro.
Yeah.
Chris Dim, if you don't know who Chris Dim is, he's an old IFBB Pro bodybuilder who now does some coaching stuff. He made an Instagram post, and it was like a 3-man call out with, he had Samson in the middle, and on one side was Martin, and the other side was Keon. And he showed like 3 different comparisons. And there was like all these people arguing in the comments about how Samson should have been the clear winner and how much better he was. And I said, I looked at it and I'm like, are you people stupid? This call out never even happened. Matter of fact, these pictures are not even from the show.
Yeah.
He took pictures from other shows in the past and he just made a thing. And then people arguing. After I said that, then a couple other pros, Ian Valliere and another pro, got on there and said, yeah, he was number 19 and it was number 7 in the show. Like these weren't even from the show. Mm-hmm. But he just did that. I don't know why he did it, just to create shit. But you had all these idiots fighting in the comments, like making hundreds of comments fighting about like why Samson should win. And it's like, these pictures were not from that contest.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We've kind of gotten off the Synthol topic.
I think the whole thing with Synthol is, does it exist in our sport? Fuck yes, it does. 100%. Guys are using it. If you are going to use it, make sure you have somebody like an expert at doing it, so he can look at your physique and he can put it in the right spots if you're going to use it. And do not abuse that stuff because it can cause long-term effects. I don't know for a fact, but I know from guys that have died, it probably did something to their liver or kidneys or something to their heart, their arterial heart walls. But my advice would be, if you can build the muscle naturally or through steroids and training, just do it naturally or do it without Synthol, because at the end of the day, that stuff's going to be stuck in your body for years, and you don't want that in your system because your body might reject it.
Yeah, what starts to happen, I've heard from my coach Phil, and actually Larry alluded to this when we talked about it, is it actually makes your arms or whatever muscle smaller because you start to like damage the area, and then it just doesn't have like the ability to kind of grow back the way that it continue to grow the way that it did. So, guys that are abusing it, and once they stop it, they're actually going to have smaller, almost more injured, maybe like weirdly shaped arms if they're abusing it.
Dante Trudell talks about it a lot. If you look at guys in the 90s that used it, King Kamali, I don't know if Branch Warren did it, but there's a lot of pros. Look at their arms now and look at how how small, there's no roundness to their arms. It's completely atrophied.
Yeah. Somebody just said it's necrosis fibrosis from Synthol. Yeah.
It can actually not let your muscles breathe and grow naturally. So it atrophies the actual muscle fascia.
Yeah. So I can tell you personally from experience, when I did it and got my arms to 21 inches, they stayed like that for about a month and a half before it started leaking under my skin. Ugh. And then I stopped doing it. And when I stopped doing it, not only did they shrink to smaller than they were before I did it, but I had like saggy biceps.
The skin?
Like it's like when you blow up a balloon full of water and it's all blown up, and then you take the water out and it's just like all shriveled up. My bicep was like saggy. And it took a while for like it to go back to normal, like with regular training. It did go back, but it took a while. But at first it was weird. It was like, it stops blood flow to the muscle. So you're actually killing your muscle fiber.
Austin, do you have any lingering side effects from when you were using?
Yes, absolutely. I noticed my right bicep doesn't have a peak as good as the left bicep, which is normal. But I do notice there is a little bit of nerve damage that I caused from just pinning the side of the tricep. I can get my triceps full blown, but it definitely caused a little bit of atrophy that drives me fucking nuts because my arms are naturally amazing, and now I can see it because I'm not full blown I'm not on a full cycle, And if you're just on TRT, the arm doesn't look as impressive because it's just not full. But you can see it a lot. If I was full blown cycle, I probably wouldn't see it. But it causes long term effects. I would advise.
I remember you telling me a story a while back that you broke the muscle like split your bicep. You like broke it in half. Yeah. Was that due to maybe injecting too much, or was that just like an injury that you sustained some other way?
No, I think that was strictly from the muscle it was probably filled in the area of that muscle, and the fascia wasn't able to breathe oxygen, and it was just stretching it during the training, and there was no muscle like tightening effects with the fascia, and it killed the muscle, the blood muscle, the vessels, and then it just it can cause injuries like that.
And yours wasn't like your tendon; it was like actually just the muscle fibers. Broke, right?
Yeah, and then you won't get the same look for a long time if you really fuck it up. You have to be very careful. I would advise, with all the peptides that we have now these days, IGF, LR3, PEG, MGF, there's so many different things you could put in your muscle versus Synthol. But I do think the pros still use it though on a Olympia stage, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Synthol is just a catch-all term for oil or whatever. But yeah, I think you're right.
So let me ask you guys' opinion on something. Martin versus Derek. Martin has that 90s grainy conditioning that they're saying that, Derek doesn't have it. He doesn't have the separation. Do you think that's a result of site injections, or is it just a genetic thing?
Personally, I think they both actually don't have that many separations. Like when you look at Martin in the upper body, he's not that separated, but he was just so damn chiseled. Like other people could have 1 or 2% more body fat than Martin and look way drier. Martin has to be dry.
Yeah.
Because if he's 1% more body fat or 2, he looks like he's off.
But he was, and he has. Separation.
Yeah. He needs to be peeled out of his mind, which he was. So he looked amazing. Like it reminded me a little of Phil Heath, but I could imagine that he also uses something. I don't know. Because like when I look at my muscles, they're so freaking separated. What I just showed you, I have front light. The light comes from the front here.
I think
I have the worst light ever.
I think that when you get to a certain size, like open guys, it gets harder to get the same striations and separation that you do when you're a natural or like you're a smaller kind of guy. When you got to like cut down to that classic cut, I think that it's just like it's a different. Your muscles just like take on different qualities.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to disagree with you based on two things.
The more muscle you have, the more separation you should have. It's because it's fake muscle.
I'll tell you why that's not true. Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath. They were both huge, and they were both had striations.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be genetic freaks, but I think that by and large, I don't think the guys are trying harder in classic than they do in open. I think everyone's trying 100%. So I think that.
Why would we be trying harder? We're not shooting oil.
I don't think every single guy in the open is shooting oil. I just don't think that they're getting into the same. I don't know why they're not getting in the same condition, but.
Well, Martin just brought crazy condition.
Yeah.
So I mean, he did it.
But Martin also he diets for his shows. He can get full and be flat and not eat any carbs. And that's his style, I think, that he has to bring for this show is he has to suck down so much that he can come in dry and full and flat versus these other guys, they have to eat 2,000 grams of carbs and then they lose their conditioning. But Martin can look just as good at 230 than these guys at 280, 270.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think what Luke's saying is I understand because in the open, it's fair game. I mean, you're going against Nick Walker, you're going against Samson, Andrew. You have to go all out. And it's harder to do that, I feel, than to go in classic where you can suck down and look just as good. Open, you have to be like 270 at 5'9" and be massive.
I don't think the classic guys or the open guys are doing really any different stuff. I think that, like, I know coaches that coach both, and you're just getting, they coach them the same way, and you're just getting like more, like you've seen like natural guys get way more peeled than even classic guys, you know, like,
No.
oh yeah, a peeled natural guy gets inside out peeled.
I've seen it.
Yeah, me too, but not more peeled than
Josema?
Like, dude, how you get more peeled than Josema or whatever? Or
Yeah.
No.
No, but you're cherry picking one guy. I mean, I think that there's like on average when like natural guy gets peeled, he gets like inside out peeled. I think just the bigger you get, the harder it gets to have that dryness that
you're cherry picking too, because
Well,
most of the natural guys are not peeled.
Austin made
Most
a
of the
good
natural
point.
guys are not peeled.
Austin made a good point. He said, you know, some people have to eat a lot of carbs and some people can stay full without a lot of carbs. I know like a guy that I trained, I could put him on straight keto and he did not lose any size or strength. And I mean, weeks of keto with hard cardio and lots of training, and he didn't lose any size or strength. If I did that shit, I'd shrivel up to fucking nothing.
Do you guys think,
so?
What would you say? And I think this is very generalization, but what category is more peeled? Classic or open?
Classic, 100%.
Probably more classic.
Is that because of the weight cut, or is it just the weight cut?
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think
also,
there's a thing in.
Also, maybe because it's more of a standard in classic, so people know.
No, not just that, but there's a mentality in the open that like I don't want to lose size.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be too small. Because if I'm too small, I'm going to get overlooked, which is kind of true.
But do you think Martin's setting the bar now? With
probably, I think he is, because you know, conditioned, you know, beats a bigger guy.
Well, Martin's only what, 5'7", 230?
But like you have to be that peeled.
So
but
Martin's
Martin
5'7",
also tried
230,
and
he beat Samson.
Big, and then he realized, oh, it doesn't work. So I go back to peeled and realized, well, that works. So he also wanted to go the other way because he was told, oh, we want you a little fuller. But they always want you fuller, but what they mean is they want you to have more muscle.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Sorry.
Just in general.
Oh, in general.
I think honestly, Hottie and Martin could hang with any classic guy in conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said that they're Martin is kind of bringing like a new look, but I mean, Samson tried to chase that look and he just couldn't do it. Like his genetics are just, he doesn't get peeled. So you need to play whatever your to the benefits of whatever your genetics are. Samson probably at the Arnold, if he does it, he's probably going to come in fuller, maybe not quite as, you know, he almost looked like toned down. He's probably going to be full blown at the Arnold. He's probably going to do way better even.
You think that's really his genetics or not his approach? I think it's his approach.
I think it's his genetics. I think certain guys just can't get inside out. I think Phil Heath and Ronnie Coleman were guys that could get inside out peeled. Their genetics allowed it. And I think that there's some guys that just it's not how far you push, because Samson just tried to push it and he just got smaller. He didn't get leaner, he just got smaller. So I think
this can't be a mistake. This must be his genetics.
He's got the same not peeled look at every show. He's done 40 shows and he's never had a inside out peeled look. I don't think it's something that he's necessarily doing wrong. I think he keeps trying different methods, but I think that he just doesn't have the genetics to get Phil Heath peeled. I think it just doesn't happen for him for some reason.
I don't think Samson has good genetics for glutes. He doesn't have striated glutes or the hamstrings where they're tied in up into the glutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then same with Andrew brought a little bit more glutes and hamstrings to the show, but he still doesn't have that Martin Derrick, that striated glutes with the hamstrings, tie-ins. And
what it comes down to, I think, with a lot of these guys is black guys have more collagen in their skin, and their skin is just thicker. The skin on their ass, the skin on their lower back, the skin on their hams is just thicker skin. Where white guys, when they get peeled down, they get a thinner skin. Like it's just, white guy peeled, like Dorian Yates peeled was just a different kind of peeled than a lot of guys. That being said, there are freak black guys like Ronnie, like Phil, that do have less collagen in their skin and can get that like etched out look. So I think that going back to Samson, I think he's just one of those guys that has thicker skin. Another one is Akeem Williams. I think he just has thicker skin that
What?
he just can't get.
Akeem Williams was
get that.
totally shredded.
Oh.
Not this Olympia, maybe, but the shows before this Olympia, he was always super shredded. He was not shredded. Let me talk.
I've never seen him super peeled. Maybe it's his skin color.
Let me talk. He was not shredded for a while. Then he started becoming shredded, and he was inside out peeled 5 shows in a row. Inside out peeled. And then all of a sudden he changed his collagen.
I've never seen him hold it. I've seen him look really good for like 10 minutes during prejudging, and then he fades in prejudging.
Okay, well, we just saw that what's his name? Andrew Jack. He just came in way better than we've ever seen him before. And his problem was always conditioning. Mm-hmm. And now he just finally did it. But he still didn't have it in the hamstrings and glutes as much. He was better, but not as much as the other guys. And the reason is he just doesn't have as much hamstrings and glutes. I mean, if you the muscles aren't that big, even if they're peeled, you're not going to see striations because there's not that much muscle back there. But he was finally in really good condition. So if it was just a genetic thing, like why all of a sudden he was better than before?
But I've also seen white guys with no muscle, but they have striated glutes and hamstrings. So they're obviously they're gifted in the genetics with the striations, but they have no muscle. If you see some guys in classic, they'll have striated hamstring and glutes, and you're like, holy shit! But it's not big. It's not like massive amounts of muscle.
Not like full.
Yeah. So I.
But it's enough to where you can actually see the muscle fibers. Otherwise, you wouldn't see that.
Yeah. But I think having striated glutes is honestly could be a little bit genetics.
Look,
honestly.
I will tell you like this. I competed for a long time and I did not have striated glutes because I didn't have glutes because I squatted with a narrow stance and I just didn't grow glutes. And then when I opened my stance up and I grew glutes and hamstrings, all of a sudden I had striations in my glutes and hamstrings. And I was always peeled, like always, my whole life.
So real quick, would you say to train your glutes more versus squats or do a whole day of glutes every day?
No. I mean, I just started squatting with a wide stance and then my glutes and hamstrings grew versus squatting with a narrow stance. And then when I directly did like bridges, and my glutes grew even more.
Do you think Stairmaster brings out the glutes?
I don't know. People say that, but I don't really believe it.
Then if that's the case, then Derek should do 1,000 reps on his biceps, and that would bring out his biceps. So that's bullshit.
Do you think
if the muscle's underdeveloped and then you finally develop it, then it's going to look better. If you just genetically have a shit body part, it's not going to grow necessarily, no matter what you do on it.
I just meant if high reps would bring out more striations, then everyone like Derek should do like 1,000 reps, like a Stairmaster for his bicep, and all of a sudden his bicep would be I don't.
Yeah, I don't
need to lose your.
Really, that's why I said I don't know about that whole Stairmaster thing.
Brown fibers more, brown cells more, and they go last, and then you have to dig deep to get them away. And some people have other fat distribution, and some have it more in their ass, and that's the last thing to go. And some have it, and some judges also don't see that. They see, striated glutes. Oh, this guy is in ultimate shape. He has like some fat on his back or his whatever, his legs, his quads. But as they have striated glutes, it's like, he was in better shape because he had more striations than the other guy. I'm like, the other guy was more peeled than every other muscle group. And just because of the stupid glutes, you're like, this guy was in better shape. Like sometimes I'm like, you judges, like.
Well, this is true what he's saying. Some people's fat distribution is just different. Like I have a female competitor that I've trained for years, and her upper body would be peeled, and her lower body's still not conditioned looking. It's because she just has this like layer of thick fat there. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure eventually it could get off, but that's like the last place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a little bit hormonal. It can be. different hormones can kind of have different fat deposits for guys and girls. But yeah, I mean, what Leo is saying, I think that like we've progressed into like it's too much of maybe just a glutes show, which like I wish we'd get back to almost just like, you know, in the maybe like 07, 08 when like Dennis Wolf and Victor and Jay and all those guys were kind of going at it. I feel like the glutes were like, it was more just about like size and, you know, kind of everything. And then we had Phil Heath come in and he had everything, but like if we don't have
Ronnie had the striated glutes.
Yeah,
like,
but if we don't have those guys in the lineup, which those guys are kind of like once in a generation guys, we're lucky we got 2 in a row, then you kind of just have to
look at Richard Gasperi in the 90s. He had striated glutes. He never won the Olympia. Mm-hmm. So they weren't really
I think we're like down where, you know, that was 35 years ago. I think that now they're kind of like, oh, if you don't have glutes, you're not in shape, which you could be like in great shape everywhere else, but you just don't have like striated glutes.
It's funny because when you see the commentators and they're like, oh, like that guy, Kelly Robert, I love his commentating. He's like, oh, the front looks good. Let's go. And then they get to the back. Oh, let's see the back double. And then you don't see the glutes. And it's like, he looks okay. Yeah. But it's like, we're judging this whole physique till they get to the back and we're looking for the striated glutes. Who cares? I'm looking at everything else too.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was kind of just the icing on top of the cake, not the like defining factor. Because I feel like at the national level, it's the defining factor. Like you could have a way better structural physique and everything, but if he's not glutes shredded, it's like, oh, that guy's third, fourth place.
Well, I gotta say, you just saw Michael Crizzo. He always looked great from the front, but he turned around and his backside was weak, like his whole backside. And at this last show, he had striated glutes and he had the Christmas tree on his back, and his back was vastly improved. So he obviously did something to bring it up.
Yeah.
What does he need to do to get better? Because was it just the waist kind of wide?
His structure isn't like, he's a super freaky, like his arms are insane. He's huge, but his structure compared to like a Martin or a Samson, he just doesn't have quite the structure that those guys have, in my opinion.
It's not as pretty.
Yeah, it's not as pretty.
I think, like I said, his backside came up, but it's still not up to the level of like Martin.
I think if I'm his coach, I would have him do back with his elbows and a shit ton of pullovers, so he can't use his friggin' arms, because I feel that it does that. So I would have him like, I don't know, maybe on like a sling around here.
Nautilus machine.
And then
he's got to do the Keenan flaps.
Yeah, something like that. And if you only do it for like do 10 sets, because you might not be able to lift as heavy, 10 sets, and then he can do all the other stuff. His back will be so pre-exhausted that he can finally hit it, and that's how
he just needs thickness. He just needs thickness in the muscles in the back.
He needs width too.
Okay.
Because his waist is getting a little wider, but his back is not better. But I gotta say, the guy improved his posing so much. Like, it's not great, but it was shit.
Well, they reconstructed his shoulder, didn't they? Maybe he was having a hard time getting.
Yeah, he couldn't rotate his shoulder back.
Bad.
He couldn't do anything. I posed next to him with Steve, and Steve was like, "Your posing is shit." Real shit. Like Steve was really, really like pissed, and then he was like, Crizzo was like, doesn't even speak English, right? So his kind of trainer guy there is like he's explaining. He's like, he doesn't have a back mirror in the gym. Oh yeah, so you can't get one.
Real quick we're talking about the backs. I look at Sean Clarita as like when he comes up and you see the lats underneath the armpit, and if you look at like Derek, I was really impressed with like the way Sean's lats just open up. Do you think they're shooting up in there, or do you think that's just training and they're getting bigger and bigger naturally? Because they just like underneath the armpit, that lat is just so fucking wide.
Okay, I can tell you this: when Derek won the USA, right after he won, he went out to the parking lot with Sean Ray, and we were doing a photo shoot for, I think it was Muscular Development, and he he hit his front double bicep, and I've never seen anybody open up like that. He went from looking like just like kind of like a sort of muscular dude to just boom. His whole lats just blew out. And that's just some kind of like, I don't know, muscle control. I've never seen anybody's lats open up like that in a front double. It just opened up, and that's just some genetic thing he's got going on. His muscles just expand. And I've seen other people where like they look hard, grainy muscle, but when they pose, it doesn't change that much. And other people, they look smooth standing there, and then they hit a shot, and all of a sudden you see all this detail and everything comes out.
So Sean Carita, though, improved his width tremendously.
Yes.
So that would be the question. How did that happen? Derek was always wide. Maybe he always shot his lats. I know that a lot of people shoot their lats. I don't know if they can really tell if that helped a lot, or if they just do it because they have to rotate and they're like, well, yeah, it just works well and I can reach it. But Sean Carita, I wanted to get John Jewett on as well. I want to know what they did, because whatever they did, the training, like it worked so well. I mean, maybe it was just terrible before. So it's just by doing it well, it worked so much. But
I think with Sean, he was just,
so I think they really like nailed it. I don't know what they did.
With Sean, he was over dieted and over depleted the last 2 years at his competitions. And with John Jewett, he's just full.
Yeah, but in one year he was too overloaded. Like he was too full, Sean, and he was still like nowhere near now. Like the shape improved so dramatically. Like really, you have to look at the pictures. Like it's wild. It looks like 5 years progress.
But again, I think that's just he just managed to hit his peak right and fill out properly and dehydrate without losing size.
I don't know. It looks like to me that grew a lot of muscle, but yeah.
He probably didn't deflate going into the show. Before he was just over dieting, over training, and deflated, and now this time he didn't do that.
Even his legs look better. Even his quads.
I heard he didn't do cardio.
Really?
And someone said Derek didn't do any cardio going into this Olympia.
How is that possible?
Eat less.
What the fuck? I would honestly, I like getting up doing cardio. I just feel better in prep.
Yeah, me
starts
too.
my day, but
if you're someone with your metabolism going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you're already burning through everything that you can get down, and then you throw cardio on top of that, you're just burning up everything.
Yeah.
I know I've done that to myself. I did a show and I was like a trial show a week before another show, and I was like nails peaked for that show. And then the actual show that I was training for, I decided, I want to do like even better. So I'm going to go on straight keto and I'm going to do cardio. And my cardio consisted of a half-hour walk on the beach every morning. I get up in the morning, fasted, took clenbuterol, and then did a walk. And I dropped 10 pounds in a week and looked flat as shit, and I couldn't even fill out for the show.
Yeah,
so,
some people that makes sense. Like some people need so many.
I didn't have any body fat left, so like, what was I going to burn? There was nothing left to burn, so I just burn up muscle.
That's not good.
Yeah, so it depends on like if you still got some fat you can get off, and you got extra calories, then you could do the cardio. But if your metabolism is going 1,000,000 miles an hour and you don't have any fat left, what are you going to burn for fuel?
I just got to give a little recommendation. You guys know in prep, like when your legs start feeling weak and they're always a little, it's like this soreness you get when you run a marathon or you do a long bike ride. It's not the soreness you have just from leg training. It's this tired soreness too. And so I'm like, oh, man, I need shoes that like feel like walking on clouds, just to, And so I asked on my story, and I now got shout out to Sebastian from Beyond Peptides. You get your money back, by the way. He has told me to get the New Balance 9060, and good Lord, I like these shoes.
Game changer.
You just get in the shoe. You don't even have to walk. You're like, oh.
Did they have them in black? They got them in black.
I have this. Wait a second.
I got to see what they look like.
I don't like them in black.
Shoes are a tough one for me. I got such wide feet that I just can't wear any. Like I can't wear Nikes. I got to wear certain shoes.
I wear Skechers, like the old man.
Yeah.
Oh,
New Balance.
I don't know if I could wear those.
You got to get them all black.
They look pretty nice though.
Yeah, they're super nice, man. And some girl at the gym told me, "Oh, they look nice. I hadn't seen this color." And she was like, "There's one shoe that's even better." So I'm looking now. It's the New Balance 1906.
Yes. New Balances are OG.
Even better.
That's why all the dads wear them.
There's some cool ones.
Oh, I was gonna say because I noticed my hair was starting to get a little bit thinner because I got thick black hair. But when I take a shower and I see when it's wet, I can see a little bit of
peeking through.
And it's starting to fucking freak me out because I was known for my hair on stage. And I need to get something done within the next year because I already know the next years and years and years it's going to get worse. And it's making my confidence go from here to kind of like here. And then I think people are looking at it when I'm talking to them. So I did see you got your hair stuff. I need to know, where did you go? I went to
Turkey. I went to the same place that Hottie and Ian and Chris Bumstead, they all went to the same place. It's called Now Hair Time. And I think yours is actually really thick, and Leo's is super thick too. They're bringing out some peptides in the next like 2 or 3 years. I think it's called like PP something. Hopefully that starts coming out for some dudes. So it's supposed to like, I guess it's in like a clinical trial at UCLA right now. But if they don't, I decided to get it done, and then I'm gonna have thick hair, and then also the peptides I'm gonna start using on top of that. But yeah, my process was pretty cool. I'm on like day 8 since my surgery now. And they took out 5,500 hairs from the back, and then they put them up here and then in the back. And just like you, I was always kind of known for my hair. So when I started to kind of like, the biggest thing was when I was like in the bathroom and that overhead light was just shining straight down and I could see my scalp. I was like, oh man, I got to do something about this. So called them up. It's like $4,500 to do it, and then they often offer like a 20% discount. So I ended up paying $3,600 for like the procedure, the hotel. They feed you while you're there. They give you rides, and they give you supplements to go home with. And then you just got to pay like the extras, basically just the flight. So ended up being like $4,500 out the door with like everything. So I'll keep you guys updated. The procedure, it's just a procedure. You know, they numb you up. It's just whatever. It's kind of annoying, but the aftercare is kind of annoying. Also, you got to sleep like on a 45-degree angle for 3 days. And then on day 10, I get to use this special like lotion that softens up all these scabs. And then I can just basically go back to kind of normal like care on my head, and then I'm pretty much out of the gym for like, after 2 weeks I can do like light cardio, 3 weeks I can do light lifting, and then 4 weeks I can just go back to normal lifting. So
I think you could just use minoxidil. You can get that from Amazon.
I got that.
I just ordered that because I want to grow more beard.
Yeah, I wish I would have done more.
I ordered Pure Potion from Modern Aminos.
Yeah,
and that's GHKCU and NAD topically.
Yeah. So I wish I would have done more care,
yeah,
like throughout my 30s, because now I'm 40 years old. I wish I would have done more care, because if I would have started using minoxidil like when I was 30 years old, I'd probably still have like just as good hair. So I think that's probably a big one if you're young, and like if you just want to stop the process of what you're losing, just get on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for me, it's probably never going to happen because I don't have it in my family. I just don't have any facial hair, which I'm actually pretty like glad about. I don't want that much hair, but a little bit here would be cool. So I'm like doing that now. We'll see if it works. But if I would have a family history, I would like order that stuff anyways and put it on already, like as I still have it, so I keep it, because when it's gone, then it's going to be harder to get it back. So it can come back, but it's harder. Like I think Wesley Vissers also increased his thickness again after being a little getting a little thin. So, but if it's gone, then it's really hard. So I would prevent.
You guys think finasteride and duestrazide is good?
Dutasteride.
Are they good?
I mean, it's a DHT blocker, so you can get hormonal stuff happening, and
apparently you can get topical finasteride and topical minoxidil, and I guess there's a couple other things. There's like the RU4882. You can do topical, and basically all those are just DHT inhibitors and blockers. So I've talked to some people that were worried about the finasteride syndrome, and basically all the ones that were on gear, they said they didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
But because if you're off gear, if you're natty, then I think that's when you could maybe see like an issue with the DHT inhibition.
Yeah.
I would just blast more Masterone and Primo.
There you go.
I mean,
Proviron is the real DHT, right? So if anything, Proviron is 100% going to work.
Yeah.
But
do you guys did you guys have any issues with Masterone and Primo being out?
Primo is gone everywhere. Masteron is nearly gone everywhere.
I have the last 20 bottles of Primo in the world.
No, you don't.
I got the last.
I have a lot too.
I think there's some people sitting on a few. They're not
right before the sellout happened. I got the last 20 bottles, and then there's
on the planet.
So do you think people are going to just use EQ now more?
Probably.
They're going to use whatever they can get.
I like it too. I just started using it like back in July. I used it for a couple months, and like I got to be like my most shredded I think I've been in like years on it.
And big too.
Yeah.
I find Masteron so useless I don't even use it.
I only used it pre-contest ever. I've never tried
even
it in off-season settings, so I don't know too much about Masteron.
Why should I like get like use this vial? I'm like, no, I don't need that extra oil there. That's not going to do shit. If I use Primo and Winstraw, like, why would I need like Masteron? Like, really not.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think there's a time for that stuff, which is like the last 2 weeks of a contest prep. Other than that, it's not necessary.
I feel it makes me just flat. I don't like. There's nothing other than making me flat. I don't know.
What?
Well, it can.
You want to talk?
It can give you a low level of hardness if you don't get flat.
Yeah, but if I'm hard anyways.
Again, everybody's genetics are a little bit different, of how it affects you.
Yeah.
Like some people, like I said, they retain glycogen on a keto diet, and some people don't.
Yeah.
So,
I was kind of curious what Leo's pushing right now for getting so shredded. I mean, I bet his dosages are pretty modest. He's a pretty modest dose guy. So I don't know if he wants to talk about it at all, but I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm like 350 tests.
That's it.
What is the
TRT? That's TRT for me.
400. I have to calculate 80. 560 Primo.
Okay.
That's 1,000. Does it get 1,000?
I'm switching the ACE to Parabolan because I need to travel.
Yeah, do a little longer ester.
How
much ACE a week? 210.
No, I'm using more now. I'm going to do 400 tren a week.
Getting crazy. That's honestly whenever I use tren in the past, like the most I would like to go up to was 50 milligrams per day, 350.
But you also realize like ACE is 90% and hex is probably 70%.
Yeah.
So 400 hex is like, I don't know, 330 ACE.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, these guys that are using 100 a day, I'm like, man, that's a lot of tren.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I think less is more with it. I think the guys, using 30 milligrams a day, even 20 milligrams a day, you can get like great results. And I think that the sleep side effects and the mood side effects really come when you start going past that 300-400 range.
I mean, it's all individual, obviously, but it's like with everything. Like, where's your threshold? You know, if you're in a deficit and you're not going to gain any muscle, let's say.
Yeah.
I think I gained muscle because I'm not freaking getting lighter. But let's say you're sure you're not gaining any muscle, right? Why would you take more than you need if all you do is not lose?
Yeah, true.
Like
That's a good point. How close are you to your weight cap right now?
I slept very little, as you realized last night. So I got up and it was pretty early. So I was heavier. I was like still 220. My weight cap's 219.
Okay, so you're right there.
But I was already 215, and I'm back 220 and harder. So
that's great.
I also upped my volume again. This low volume training
not working.
I need a little more volume. I can't do this 3-set shit. Like, I'm like a little exaggerating, but even though I'm really good at nailing that because I know I just have like 1 set and I go really all out and everything, I'm like, at a certain point, your body's like, what's that, bro?
Yeah.
You got to train how you like, you know?
Yeah,
you gotta
that too.
Feel it.
Yeah,
feel
so
it.
I start doing a little drop sets in the end now too, or if I feel like it, if I want more burn, then I'll do a superset with something.
It feels good to do those intensifiers.
Let's say I just did a tricep push down or so. I'm like, I see the dip.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna dip it out now.
You can't not do it.
Something like that. You know?
You need bigger arms always.
Real quick, Leo is doing the IFBB Pro NPC Steve Carr Las Vegas Classic.
That's right.
It's, November 8th. It's going to be on live stream, guys. So if you guys want to see it, go to the Instagram page. It's actually, you can buy it through Chris Menace's Center Podium TV. I think it's $20, $19.99 or something like that. But we're going to have IFBB Pro Classic, and then we'll also have Women's Pro Bodybuilding.
Nice.
Right now I'm at 23 IFBB Pro Classic guys registered. Ooh. So we're probably going to have 30 by the time next week comes because everybody sends in their contract on Monday. But some of the names are like Leo. I've got Stanimal that just recommitted back to Classic. So I'm curious to see how he looks. There's a guy named Colleen out of Canada. Couple guys that were in that just got their pro card recently. Not too many big names because a lot of guys went to Prague. Texas. And I think they've done all these Oklahoma and they did these shows in between the year. So right now they're kind of in like a rebound phase. They're tired, which is a great time to get your qualification at this show or points. So you can start racking up points. Yes.
Yeah.
RP Strength is Jared Feathers and Mike Israetel. They're the title sponsor. So they donated, I think it's up to $25,000 in cash purse prizes. So even third place gets, I think third place is at least
25, right?
Yeah, 3,500. So you're still cashing out. And you're in Vegas, so if you win that, you don't have to travel and spend any money. So it's a nice cash out prize.
I would still have to travel because it wouldn't qualify me.
yeah, true. But we also have Andrea Shaw. She just won 6 times the Olympia. She'll be here posing for us on November 8th. And then we have Ashley Jones, who just won 2nd at the Olympia.
She's crazy. Yeah.
Fucking amazing. She looks like Keon. Keon's identical sister. So
she looks like
she's up and coming. She's a heavy hitter. So
definitely the future. Yeah.
I feel bad for the girls doing the show because like you got like this phenomenon superstar. So I just it is what it is. If you want to be a better bodybuilder, you got to go against the best.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a good show, you guys. You guys aren't coming out, right, Luke? Or
no, I'm laying low just because of the hair. Got the hair done. Yeah, I'm just kind of laying low right now.
I mean, if you want to buy the
we'll probably watch the live stream.
Yeah.
You got to watch Leo compete.
Well,
yeah.
Austin, I'll cover the live stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you want to do the live stream, let me know.
Yeah.
And then also, we're
give me all the information. We can promote it next week if you get like competitors list and all that.
As soon as I get that list, I will collab you on social media.
Cool.
And then We'll probably get the guys on Saturday morning at 9:00. I want to get them on stage right away. It's a little bit difficult because we have my show gets so many athletes for the NPC side, and we really want to showcase the guys. So we're going to do a night show because I was going to do a through and through show. The problem is a lot of the sponsors, like we have gas coming out, they're going to put that trailer with all the merchandise and equipment. If we just did it through and through, he's like, dude, I want to have this at night so people can come up to the booth. They can buy clothes. All these vendors that spend a lot of money doing the booths. So I figured, hey, let's just do it all old school way. We'll do a night show, get the NPC off first in the night, because then if we get the place packed, then they can watch the pro divisions, and those pro guys are going to feel like this is a massive show. So I figured we'll get the NPC side done at night, then we'll have classic physique, then we'll push the women's bodybuilding, maybe for the end part of the show. So the
So
show
it's going to be late, huh?
No, because we're gonna get you guys on by 3:30 will be the NPC. So how long do you think that'll take? 2 hours tops, NPC? Because you usually don't get a lot of bodybuilders anymore, so not a lot of routines. Men's physique, bikini, all those divisions they're coming out, they're doing a front and back pose, and they're getting no rewards.
Yeah. But you should still. I would rather do a break.
Yeah.
But give us a definite time. So say like 5 or something. You know.
I want to say if it becomes an issue where the men are taking forever for the NPC, instead of putting the women right after, I'll put you guys right after the NPC men.
Just stop the NPC show and start the
yeah. I'll just literally, hey, NPC guys, we got pros here. We got to get them on stage. There's time confusion, and we just want to make sure that they're happy. We got to get them on stage too. So we'll throw you guys on there. We're gonna just see how it kind of plays out. But if I have all my pros there and ready to go, then we'll stop everything and put you guys on stage.
I had that happen when I did the Cal before I turned pro. Because I guess they got to start the pro show at like 12 noon. It's like some IFBB rule.
So you went on prejudge?
I was at prejudging, and I was a super heavyweight. So they had the heavyweights go, and then they literally like, all right, get ready. So we're pumping up, we're oiling up, and they're like, all right, sit down. Wait, and then the pro show, the whole pro show went, and then they put us the super heavyweights.
You get on till 3:30, I bet, right?
Yeah, seriously. I was like, it was cool because it was my first time being like,
we're
10 feet away from like all these pro bodybuilders, but I was also like, dang, I was all oiled up and everything. I was glazed.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because, if you think about it from a promoter standpoint, the NPC guys and the families, they're paying a lot for the shows. Yeah. So, but then at the same time, I'm catering to my pro athletes as well. So it's like, do I piss off the NPC family or do I piss off the pro?
I mean, it was whatever. I was starstruck because it was my first time. I think Steve Kuklo won that show. It was my first time seeing guys like, up close and personal like that. So I was like, it was whatever. It's just part of the thing. I kind of wish they would have just literally ran my class through, because it would have been like, how long does it take to run one class, and then just been like, all right, you guys can go to lunch or you can watch the show or whatever. But, it just didn't work out that way. Because I think there's like some kind of IFBB rule where they have to go on before 12 o'clock. So I guess they get fined. The muscle contest got fined if they didn't start the show at or before 12 noon for the morning show.
That's crazy. Well, let me ask you this. Do you, when you did your pro shows this year, Leo, for the prejudge, did you come out and do comparisons only and then that was it? Or did you do individuals?
30-second presentation.
Not like more than that, right? It was just
30 seconds. But sometimes they give you 40 or so. So 30-second presentation and comparisons.
Then the call out.
Like the numerical one, which is always, it's weird now. They do it a side symmetry, a back double, a side symmetry, and a front double.
Yeah.
And then they do the call outs.
Okay. Based off those poses.
Based off those poses and the presentation round.
Okay.
So the individual presentation round is always should be first, and then should be numerical, but sometimes they do numerical and then presentation.
Yeah, because my thing is, if we're gonna have it on the live stream, I'm gonna get I want you guys to be up there enough time to get some good posing out of the way and show off some stuff that you guys want to show off versus just trying to get it in and out. Because that, for me, having pro bodybuilders at a show, that's my dream to have this. And the more time, the more better. And I want you guys up there longer to pose.
Yeah. Maybe it would be even better for the night show to already give us a time. Because then, when people know, let's say 4:30, Classic Pros are on. They come a little early, so the NPC guys before us will have a full house. They will love it.
We could do Classic at the start of 3:30.
I don't know what's better to fill the house. Like for me personally, I'm like for 3:30, obviously, but. And it's nice also for the people on the live stream that watch it for the pro divisions when they know when the pros are on, because they might not be like, well, I turn in 3:30 and wait now. Could be 3 hours.
We'll have the NPC running on live stream too.
Yeah.
So
but I'm thinking if someone buys a live stream for the pros, and they wouldn't know the timing, then I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sitting there 3 hours waiting.
True.
You know what I mean?
I can tell you, I just did the live stream for the prog.
My division that I'm interested in comes out. I'm buying the live stream because I know, 4:30, I have time. So I'm buying the live stream. But I don't have time to sit there 3.5 hours waiting because it could be any time.
Of course.
So I don't know
what's more
clever. That's just
I just did the live stream for the prog, and I had a guy there at the show on the live stream with me, which made a huge deal because literally we had an idea of when it was supposed to start. We thought the pros were going to go on at I think it was 8 p.m., which was 11 a.m. here. But literally they had all these intermissions and different classes and this and this. And it finally went on at noon. But even knowing that it was supposed to start at 11 o'clock Pacific time, it didn't actually start till 12 because of all this stuff. And I know on a show prior to that, a European show I tried to cover, the thing started supposedly at midnight the night before, and I got on at 11 p.m. and the open bodybuilding didn't go on until 10 o'clock the next morning. So, and we had no idea what was going to happen. So literally I sat up the whole night waiting and it was a million women's divisions before the pro bodybuilding went on. And that was just I would never do that again because I literally was 9 hours from when it started till when the pro bodybuilders actually went on stage. And there was no way to tell from the website. That's another thing too. On whatever you're going to do, post it on the website. This is going to start a live stream with this pro classic starting at this time. So people can tune in, because otherwise people don't want to just tune in and sit there watching a background or people walking around for 45 minutes waiting for the thing to happen.
Yeah. I'm going to call Mitch with Gilco Productions and because I want to really time this so people turn it on and there's only 5 minutes with a couple videos of sponsors, their workout shit, and then boom, we're already shooting the stage where they're coming out.
Yeah, I mean, even on this last one with the guy that I had there live at the show, there was a 25-minute intermission after the last amateur thing went on before the pros went, and it was just it wasn't sponsors, it was just nothing. It was 25 minutes of just sitting there waiting for it to happen.
Well, here's my thing. We usually start the night show for an NPC, if it's a night show, 5:30, 5 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. So if we do the live stream at 3:30 for the pros, we're not affecting the NPC show. Do you know what I'm saying? So if we could put it on at 3:30, and then because I got to make sure I tell Mike, Israel, and Jared, they're going to do the commentary for the actual show part at the show. So because they're going to be doing the voiceovers for the athletes, basically just going over, who they think looks good, what they think, and then they'll be presenting the award. So if we could start it, I think 3:30 might be the time then.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, it'd be really good if you post on your website.
Yeah.
This is starting at this time because you're going to get way more people tuning in to actually watch.
Right. And then we could even do a countdown to that time where they're going to be on there.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
I'm at the gym. I got 2 hours to get out of here and watch the live stream.
You will get great feedback if you get the timing right, because people are really sick of it. The people that are buying the live streams, if you get the timing right, they're like, this guy, backdrop and timing, bam.
Yeah. I'd rather do the pro. Would you guys rather see a pro go first before the NPC, or would you rather watch NPC than the pros? If you're at a show.
If I'm at a show and I'm watching a live stream?
No, like you're at my show in Vegas. Would you rather watch the NPC go out on stage and then watch the pros after? Or would you rather have the pros go on first, then the NPC?
You mean for the night show?
For the night show.
If I'm coming just to watch a show, I want to see the pros. If you're the family of the people, but you got to remember this, okay? The family of the people, they're going to stay anyways.
Yeah.
Regardless. So they can watch the pros and then they can stay and watch their people.
The only thing that I wanted
if I'm a straight spectator, I might just want to see the pros. I might not want to sit through the amateur part.
The only reason I wanted to have the pros go on a little bit later was because I wanted the crowd and everybody to see the pros.
Yeah.
And then the pros to see you like, dude, this is a mass. You're going to see, bro, this is a big show. There's going to be a lot of people watching you.
I think just have the pros on at like a good time. Just have them on at like, I don't know what time your night show is supposed to start, but have them on at like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or something like that. Just kind of have like a set time for the pros to go on, so that it's like everybody knows, the pros know, we're going on they're starting the show exactly at 7 o'clock, and then just like modify the NPC show so it's like the class is going to end or whatever. Like you're between like women's bikini and classic or whatever, like it's between those, so it's not
right. What we could do is, I would say for right now, 100%, I think we could put the pros on at 5 p.m. Because if we start at 3:30, we can get through NPC, bodybuilding, physique, classic physique, and men's physique. Boom, and then we'll have classic physique right at 5 o'clock.
There you go.
Because I don't think we'll have a lot of bodybuilders at shows anymore. So the routines. The only problem is we have tons of classic where they have to do the routine, but a lot of promoters nowadays are only giving the top 5 their routines at regional shows, which I don't agree with. Because
you're letting everyone get their night show posing.
It just sucks because if you've been an amateur and you've never done a show and you practice that routine and you place 7th, now you don't even get to do your routine. And you're like, dude, this promoter didn't even let me do my routine. I practiced with my coach.
Yeah, honestly, that is kind of bullshit. If you don't,
but if you get 7th, you suck.
But I'm saying for the athlete, they want to see. Well, they paid this coach like all this money for posing, and now they don't even get to do the routine. And they're like, dude, I could go do muscle contests and do my routine at night.
Muscle contest doesn't do that. They only let the top few do their routine, and that's it.
See, that's.
I know at like nationals they only let the top 5, I want to say, but I think that at regular shows, I don't know. I haven't been to a muscle classic show or muscle contest show in a while. I've never placed out of the top 5, so I've always done my.
They let the top 5 pose. That's it. Nobody else poses.
Well, I do know for a fact if you're going to do bodybuilding and classic physique in an amateur show, we're only giving you one routine. We're not letting you do a bodybuilding routine and a classic routine. That is ridiculous.
Maybe they just need to like truncate the length of the routine. Instead of doing a 60-second, just do like if there's like 45 guys, do like a 30-second or something.
Because I know for a fact
top 10 anyways.
Like I think top 10 is fair. I think top 10 is fair.
Yeah, top 10 is fair.
Because but in amateurs, top 10, there's going to be a bunch of classes that don't even have 5 people.
No.
So even the 5th guy is going to be probably not
because
that
there's going to be a couple.
And then also think about it. I think they're all going to show their routines because the amateurs that suck, they compete in novice too.
Yes.
All that. So
if
you don't get 5th in novice, You don't. Sorry. No.
Or if you don't get fifth in true novice.
Yeah, come on.
That's a first-time competitor.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, you'll see like at the shows, the numbers are so down. Like we'll even put A, B, and C together sometimes to make the class look. And they're like, "Well, how did that guy win?" And it was like, "No, he didn't win this class. He just won his little class, and he's just with this guy.
Yeah,
he's not winning." They're like, "Because that doesn't make sense." I'm like, "No, they're all different classes. We just didn't have enough guys."
How many classic competitors do you have? Like
on paper right now for this show, 26. Oh, for the pros or the amateurs?
Amateurs.
26.
Okay.
So, but it's split up. You have novice, true novice,
4 divisions and all that.
Yeah. You have like 1 million divisions.
So much.
Yeah, there shouldn't be too many guys that don't get to compete then, because there probably won't be more than 10 in one class.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. I think that if you like are doing an amateur show, you kind of hopefully you should, because your family's coming, like they're coming to see you, they're all proud. And then they only come to the night show because you're like, oh, don't worry about the morning show, and then you don't even place. You just get to walk out on stage and like go like that and leave. It's just such a jip. So as a good promoter, I think you should try to like get them at least some kind of FaceTime where their family can picture.
Well, and here's my thing. What if you pay Gilco for your performance at night to do your routine? And you don't even get to go out and do it.
True.
Then you lost $200 at the to pay this.
No, Gilco lost because he didn't do it, so he has to give it back.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But you gotta. I hate it as a promoter, the fact that we have to charge for this, that, it's just so much money that these guys spend, and it's like I wish they could compete for free because. Yeah. It costs a lot of money to promote it too. So I feel so bad for the athletes because they're spending $30,000 just to try to do an amateur show, and you're like, you know, it's just it's rough. And I know they don't have a lot of money, so
that's the name of the game. I mean, I agree. The thing that's the worst for me, like when I did muscle contest, was like they charged like for the night show. I want to say they charged like 55 or 65, and the morning show was like 45, and like. My mom would come, my dad, my little brother, and then like they'd have like so many people, but my mom was catching the whole payment for that. So it was like she was having to dump like $500-$600, and like luckily I did well, so like I was getting rewarded, but like I always felt bad that like my friends would come and stuff, and they just had to pay so much to like see me compete. And I understand that's where like the promoter makes the money, but it's just like it's kind of tough when your family's coming to promote to like represent you and stuff.
What's really sucks is if you're promoting just a pro show and you don't have amateurs, you're not making any money.
You're not making any. You're just selling out money for prizes and stuff.
And you know, Leo, from doing shows, nobody really watches the pros. I'm not going to lie. There's not a lot of people in attendance for pros shows. When I did Tampa Pro, I looked out in the audience when I was in 212. There was probably 20 people at Tim Gardner's Tampa Pro. And I heard my wife screaming. And I'm like, where's everybody at? There's nobody there.
I did the New York Pro, man. Full house. That was cool.
Well, New York is a good show. That's a good show.
It's just pros. Way. So everyone who's there is coming for classic and open. And then the women come out and everyone goes out.
It sucks when you go out there and you're like, man, I killed myself to be here. Like, fucking killed myself. And then you look in the crowd and there's only like 10 people and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
but you have a live stream now, so that's kind of cool. So
yeah, live stream works, you know. But I there was another thing real quick before we go. There was a talking about posts I saw on Instagram, and a guy was posing, and they had a zoomed in on the judges having a conversation between each other, and it was Justin Badura posing at the Hurricane Pro, and the guy said, well, is it right for these judges to be having a conversation laughing when the guy's on stage posing at a pro show? Shouldn't they be giving him his attention during his performance? But they make it look like the judges are pieces of shit for having a conversation on the side while the guy's judging or while the guy's posing. So it's given like a lot of negative attraction.
I mean, I think that that class that's a presentation part of the show, so it's not judged. So do the judges need to pay attention? No, not necessarily, but I think that it should be a judged thing in the IFBB. I think it was part of our sport and the heritage of our sport, like the posing round. And I would like to see people go back to it where it counts like even just like 25% of your score for the whole show. Cause then it makes the competitors actually be like, oh, it's actually a part of the show. I have to actually like make a presentation, like not do anything and go out there and do like a guest posing.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's kind of taken out of context because like maybe people that see that don't understand that it's not during the like, you know, the show. Yeah.
I just know when you're on stage and you're posing and you're doing all this stuff and you look at the judging table sometimes.
True.
A lot of are looking down at the page.
Yeah, they're like sitting back. I've done that before.
They're like this, and you're like, all right, I'm giving everything I got to be on this stage right now. Just look.
I think that they might just get a little exhausted because like you've just seen 400 people and you're like, okay, like I'm just burned out, you know?
Yeah.
Then you like take an Adderall so they're like paying attention better.
I don't know. Every show that I've judged, I'll bring my food and I watch every single athlete.
Yeah.
I give them like a nod or something like that to make them feel.
No, I think that's a sign of a good judge. I think definitely judge can get complacent or if they get, you know, bored. I think that's just like the judge needs to try harder. They need to have a better, you know, better like criteria for like their presentation as a judge. Because you are like representing the NPC or IFBB. You know, if people are like on stage and you're like not looking, then you feel like you're kind of not getting like judged.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's really going on here?
Yeah. I mean, it's just part of the, you know, you're stuck there all day and that's your job for the day. And then you wouldn't go to your other job and fuck off half the day. You know what I mean? So you might as well just give them the, you know, I guess the respect to while they're on stage.
Well, I can tell you like my training client was a judge for many years. And she would go every single weekend somewhere to do a muscle contest show. Every weekend she was going somewhere. And they paid her like a couple $100 for the weekend, plus travel expense.
Yeah.
And she'd have to sit there all freaking day.
That's not very much.
I mean, they asked me if I wanted to do it. And I was like,
no,
I can't spend all day plus traveling, so it's going to take me basically the whole weekend.
Of course.
For $200. So
yeah, that's what people don't understand. It's like you're not really making a ton of money judging. You know,
you're not making any money. I mean, I would be losing money because I could be like training clients or doing anything, making more than $200 in a day.
And it like Luke was saying, after a full day of watching all these people posing on stage, and you get out of there, I'm exhausted.
It's kind of delirious a little bit.
Seriously.
And you got to keep in mind something else too. Like if you're a judge, not only do you got to watch the bodybuilding and the classic physique, but you got to judge 10 million bikini competitors and wellness competitors and, you know,
fit model,
the new fit model.
And then physique. And I mean, by the time you've seen 1,000 people in a day, they probably all
I get it too. Yeah. I get it. It's sad, but I get it because
it's almost like they need different judges almost for different classes, like they do with the IFBB. Like they just you know, halfway through they kind of cycle in a different judge or something like that. Different.
Well, I'm sure Austin can probably say it's probably hard to get people. You have to have a team. Yeah. And people are like no pro bodybuilders judge because no one wants to do it.
Yeah. And the problem is, like you said, you're not getting paid a lot. You're not getting your meals in if you're there all day because you're stuck at the table. And I try to get my meals in, but I hate looking at athletes and I'm like eating like chicken and rice. And I'm like, I feel like it's disrespectful in some kind of way.
Yeah. They almost need like a sixth judge that can alternate for the judges between, you know, like, okay, you can go to lunch and then take an hour off. And then the next judge, you can go to lunch, you can take an hour off. And then
they're doing a new thing with the NPC now where they'll have the night show. They'll let one judge leave and go backstage and you have to bring your notes, and you can tell them their feedback right then and there. So after the show versus them coming up to the stage or to the table, we can tell them right then and there. So, hey, this is what Sandy said you need to do, or Steve, and they'll literally let one judge go back there. So it kind of breaks it up. So I like to deliver the news because it just gets me up and I can talk to people.
Yeah.
And, but that's pretty cool because now, like, that's different. They never had that before because I know after a show you're exhausted, and then you got a line like with 40 people, and then they're disagreeing with you sometimes, and you're like, well, your glutes, and it's a lot of times you don't even remember sometimes, you know. And it's
you almost
just
like write down the notes as you're going, maybe.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I mean, if you're seeing too many people, like with me, when I've tried to pay attention to like a bikini class or a wellness class, like they all look phenomenal. Like they all, have, like, especially bikini, because there's really not like, they don't have like gigantic muscles like with open guys, or maybe even with classic guys. They're not super shredded, so it's like they're so much similar. I'm like, man, to pick a top 5. I'm like, they like 40 girls look like they could be top 5, you know. So
the worst thing to do in its show, and I hate doing it, is, and it's terrible to say, but when everybody fucking sucks really bad, and to pick who's like, they're so bad between every single guy. I'm like, I don't even know which one is fucking worse.
Oh, no.
Honest. So I've had those classes, and I'm just like, if you got, like, seriously, I don't really want to, because then they're going to come up to you and say, well, how did this guy beat me? And it's like, I really don't know, bro. Like,
he was less bad. He was less bad.
Exactly. I just want to tell them.
Judging is kind of hard, because finding judges that understand what they're looking for, you almost got to be like really into the sport to understand, like, oh, okay, you're supposed to have like this kind of structure and that kind of conditioning and this kind of this and that. And then you got to understand it for every class, for women's, for men's physique. Because like, I don't know what to look for in men's physique, and I'm a fucking professional athlete. I just don't even watch it. So to get someone that's like diverse in all of that, and then we'll sit there all day, it's like very few people want to be that judge, like you said.
I feel like all the judges in every state, and even the country or whatnot, worldwide, there needs to be every
criteria.
2 months or a month that we go to like a 4-hour class.
Yeah.
And we go over every single division and what's the new criteria.
What the IFBB is looking for, what they don't want. Yeah. Because that can happen where you get a show and there's a winner, and you're like, oh, that winner's like totally opposite of what they said that they wanted, you know, like say it's like a women's class, and they're like, oh, her delts are too big, and then she comes in shredded at the next show and wins, and they're like, where was the consistency? And competitors are like, there's no consistency in the judging.
And it's crazy because you get a lot of judges that some of them haven't competed in 20 years, or they've never competed at all, and they don't even watch active shows like Larry. They're not watching Prague. They're not watching the show coming up this weekend. They're not even active in the sport, but yet they're still judging. And I feel like you need to be active on social media. You need to know who's good and what they're looking for.
Because, it's definitely like a labor of love, like becoming a judge and being a good judge, because it's really a tough thing to do for every class, especially. Like maybe you could do it for like a class or two. Like I could do it for like open and classic, but like you throw me in a wellness and a bikini, and I'm like, man, I'm over my head.
I will say the hardest working guy that I've seen in the judging is Tyler. He will sit through an 8-hour day of judging, and he'll do it for 5 days in a row.
Wow.
But I'm saying he's good too. He'll remember your physique. If you did something and he saw your glutes or your hamstrings were sucked, and you brought up your hamstrings, Tyler will reward you for that. So, I mean, but there's not enough people like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like they could.
Guys, I gotta go.
Yeah. I was going to look too.
Real quick before we wrap up, I just want to really quickly go over the Italy show.
There's no Italy.
I don't think we got time. I think we should do it on the next one.
Well, the next one is going to be this weekend, so I'm just going to go over the competitor list really fast with you guys.
Okay.
Let me pull it up here.
Okay, let me just say, I think Akeem Williams against Joan Pardell. Whoever's in better shape wins. Goodbye.
All right.
That's the top two?
The competitor list right here. We've got.
Scroll up. Oh,
That's Prague. Oh,
there. This is Prague.
It says.
No,
I think you're good.
No, it should be the Italy list, right?
okay.
This is Italy, right? Yeah.
Keon's doing it?
Oh, maybe this is the. Oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong list up here. This is Prague. My bad.
It
Hold
said
on.
Keon.
Hold on. I got the wrong list. Let me get the right one. Let's see. Remove. Okay. Remove. I don't know how I had that on my screen. Okay. Share screen. Okay, here it is. Okay. Show more. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know any of these guys, to be honest. The guy from Spain, Joe.
Akeem Williams is the only guy I recognize.
Andrew Preston.
Well, you got Roman Fritz. Roman Fritz from Germany.
You got to scroll down, yeah.
And then we've got Akeem. You've
Andrew
got
Presti.
Presti. You've also got the guy that just took fifth, the new guy, John Prades Martinez.
I'm calling it now. I think that guy's going to win it.
I think so too. He took third in took third in
Prague.
Was it the British? And he took fifth at Prague.
And he was compared to Samson, and he looked good.
Yeah.
He had did you see his front double, Luke? That kid's front double?
Yeah, he looks nuts.
He's got a wide back and great quads.
Yeah, he's gonna. I hope he does something like the freaking Arnold or something, because man, he's gonna look good in like an American Pro show.
I think he's only 27.
Yeah, wow. They say he's 27.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing for his age.
Now
he's
you have
big.
Andre Presti. He's won shows before, but not in a while.
He's good though.
There.
Akeem might be good if he's peeled.
I mean, Akeem's probably the heaviest hitter in this show.
Yeah. I think
I heard one guy dropped out of the show just because he heard Akeem was in it.
Really?
Akeem gets better though during the season. You notice that?
Mm-hmm. Now Roman Fritz, he looked pretty good at the last show that he competed in.
He's got a great look. I just don't think he has enough.
I think Roman might be past his prime.
Yeah.
He's got to be he's about 40, right?
I think older than that.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
And he hasn't really.
He was always like good. He got pretty shredded, but I think he's just the younger guys are coming up now.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to pick. I would say the new guy,
Joan.
Yeah, and then I would say Akeem. I think
it's going to be
those two are going to be the top ones, and they're both really big guys, so that should be a good matchup right there.
The Joan kid's like 5'11", and I think Keem's like 5'10".
Mm-hmm. And they're both big, really big.
Yeah. And then Andre Presti, he's like 6 foot or something like that. He's pretty big.
Yeah, and I think
Roman's younger than I thought. This says he's 30. He was born in '88. This says he's 37.
He looks older though.
he does look a little older than that.
He's been competing since like.
Yeah, I think he's been competing since he was like a freaking teenager.
He was with like Evans and Apani and like.
Yeah, he was with Animal back in like the early 2000s.
With Antoine.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
You got a lot of Polish competitors, but I don't really know too much about them.
Dude, it's what's crazy is like all these shows, so many athletes are now from overseas. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're turning a lot of international people pro.
All right. I think we've gone a little over 2 hours, so I think we covered a lot of stuff today.
It was good having Austin on. I liked having his point of view.
I'd do more. I just got to give me a time when you guys are doing these.
Yeah.
We usually do 11 o'clock Thursday morning, but Leo's wanting to do them later, so.
Yeah, I'm doing some
I'll
side
just
work
give you a
right
heads
now.
up for next week.
Yeah. Oh, well, next week I'll have the show because I got to set up and do all that shit.
Yeah,
But
maybe the week after.
The following week I'll probably be free because I'm doing some side work at this casino, so I'm off like Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays.
Okay.
So that's even better.
Yeah, one of those days. Usually we'll probably get it one of those days then.
Yeah, and I bought for my show. I bought like for the live stream because they didn't have it. I got these like badass microphones and sound a mixer and all this shit. I spent like $1,000 on all this shit, so I'll have it after the show. I'll put it up so I can do the podcasts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, wrap it up, Leo. Or Larry.
All right, everybody, don't forget, like, subscribe, and leave comments. And we don't really have any questions for the Q&A, and we're running out of time, so we're going to wrap it today. But I will be covering the show this weekend in Poland, and we will see you back here next week.
All right.
All right. Later, brother.
I believe that the fires were cast upon, on the flames we shall become. I believe in a common calling.